let's get started just like usual. Chin tucks and head turns for 10 each. Sitting up nice and tall, ready, and begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Little reset here. Head turns, ready, and begin. Turn, center, other side, center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, warm up. We're going to do 4 exercises, 30 seconds each, and we're going to do 3 rounds. Our first one is going to be our hinge, where our feet are wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, and we're going to have a goalpost arm here. Let me show you from the side here. We're going to hinge, okay, then we're going to extend long, pull it back, up, okay? So hinge, extend our arms long, pull those elbows back down and up, okay? All right, so we're going to do 30 seconds of that, and then we're going to go a little bit wider with our legs, and then we're going to shift from side to side. Now, if you're seated, we're going to be doing hinge, extend, up, and then we're going to tap it side to side, okay? So if you're seated, that's how you're going to do those first 2. All right, let's get ready. Outside the width of our shoulders here. 3, 2, and 1. That goalpost arm. We're going to hinge the hips back. Be able to stretch the back of the legs. Extend the arms long. Now pull them back down, and then use your hamstrings and glutes to lift back up. Warming up the back side of the body and the legs and the shoulders. 5 more seconds here, then we're going to go in that lateral shift. 2 and 1. Good. Now we're going to step it a little wider with our feet, and we're shifting from side to side. Feel your inner thighs and groin stretching out a little bit here. The next 2 moves we're going to do are tap backs with a front reach. I'll show you in a second. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now we're tap, tap. Okay, try to keep the heel flexed here. You're going to feel your calves stretch out here a little more. Now, if you're seated, you're going to be bending at the knees and toe tapping back. So it's slightly different here. And then the next one we're going to do here is a forward and back little jog. It's a new one here. So it's going to look like this. Forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. So we're just jogging forward and back. If you're seated, march in place. Trying to get our heart rate up a little bit here. 30 seconds might feel like a long time here. So if you need a little less time, that's okay too. We're going to go back to the top. That goalpost hinge next. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Woo, feet wider. Ready? Goalpost. All right, we're going to push the hips back, hinge. Feel a nice stretch through the back of the legs. And then up. You should feel those shoulder blades working in the back as we pull those elbows back down. You can kind of feel them rotating around in there. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to step it out a little wider, shifting from side to side. Think of warming up our joints here, right? Think of nice mobile hips. You can always put a chair in front of you if you're somewhere in between. Hold on to the back of it. All right, we're going to go back to our forward or back taps and forward raise here. Remember, if you can here, try to get that heel tapping into the ground. We're gonna get into our calves a little more. And we're going back to that forward and back. Shuffle, elevating the heart rate even more here. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so here we go. Forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward. So just quick little bouncing on those feet, getting that heart rate up. All right. We've got one more round. So we're going back to those goalpost hinges. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, back to shoulder width, a little outside of goalpost. We're gonna push the hips back, extend the arms out, pull the elbows down, and then hinge back up, right? I'm thinking of using my hamstrings and glutes to lift my upper body back up. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, last round of our lateral shift here. So we're just shift, shift, trying to mobilize our joints. We're thinking about this stretching on that extended leg here. Remember, you can always hold on to a chair in front of you if you just need a little extra support to feel that mobilization of the hips here. Body temperature should be going up right now. We're going to go to those back taps with that front reach next. Okay, so here we are again. Tap. I'm trying to pop that heel down onto the floor here so I feel my calves stretching out. Getting ankles, shoulders, and hip flexors warmed up right now. Just one more move after this to get the heart moving, the heart rate up. All right, last one here is our little forward, forward, back, back jog. Go at your own intensity. This one feels like the longest. Start to feel that body temperature elevating here. That's what we want. Be just a little bit uncomfortable. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Woo, warm up check. Okay, guys. So our first block, 4 exercises, 45, 15. We're going to do A, B, A, B, A, B, C, D. Okay. So we're going to start with a side step goblet squat. So you can take 1 or 2 weights. Okay. We're going to hold it in front of our chest here. All right. We're going to come out to about shoulder width apart, sink it down, drive it up, bring it together. Then the other side. Down, drive it up, together. Okay. So you could do this body weight or with a weight here. Okay, that's our first exercise. If you're seated, we're doing our lateral tap, leg extension. Other side, lateral tap, leg extension. Okay. After that, we're going to do halfway balance exercise here. Okay, so a couple options for this one. We're going to do a hammer curl for our biceps. Okay, so knuckles are out to the sides. It's a neutral grip here. And for half the 45 seconds, we're going to be on one leg. And then the other half, we're going to be on the other leg. Now, a couple options. Maybe just a toe. Okay, if you know, where you're still kind of majority on one leg. Okay, if you're somewhere in between. And this way is a little bit easier too. Maybe if your knee forward is too hard, maybe your knee back is a little better. Okay, so play around with your options here, okay? And if all else fails, if you feel like 3 times you keep on popping that leg down, maybe let's go to our march, okay? And you can just march it out, okay? First 2 exercises, then we're gonna go into our hinge and row, one of our staples here, okay? So lower body and upper body exercise in one movement there. And then our last one is going to be one of two options, either just a regular sit squat, so sitting it all the way down on the chair and then standing it up with our weights up high here, or sit, squat, press, okay? Now that depends if your shoulders, if you have tricky shoulders, you might just wanna keep it to the sit squat, okay? All right, that's our 4 exercises. We're gonna start with that side step squat, okay? So let's get ready for that one. 45 seconds of work. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I'm gonna step it out about shoulder width apart, sink my hips back, drive it together. Pressing through the heels of my feet and really thinking about my glutes engaging as I drive up to that top. 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, we're going into our hammer curl. Okay, so our knuckles are going to stay out to the sides here. I'm going to tell you when halfway is over, we're going to switch sides. Remember, if you're falling a lot, just march it, okay? All right. So 3, 2, 1, switch legs. Three, 2, 1, and time. Okay. We're going back to our side step goblet squat. Okay. So we're doing that AB pattern. So back to our first exercise here. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Stepping it out, sinking the hips down, driving through the heels. Other side. Past halfway on this one. We're going back to that balanced bicep curl. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Back to our balance curl here. We're gonna pick, if you know you have a weaker leg, start on that one when you're a little bit fresher, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. 3, 2, 1. Other leg. Remember, you can always march it out as another option here. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay, nice work. Moving on to the next 2 before we put all 4 together, we're going to go into our hinge and row. Feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward, same as if you're sitting here. Ready? And begin. We're going to push those hips back. My belly button is pulled back towards my spine. All right, so When I'm hinged over and I'm pulling those dumbbells up towards my pockets, I'm working my lat muscles in my back, that area behind my rib cage. And then as I come back up, I'm using all of that stretch that I feel on the back of my legs to engage those muscle fibers and try to make a very strong mind muscle connection on the back of my legs and glutes. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, next exercise. We have 2 options. Either just our front squat or our front squat and neutral grip press, okay? If you're seated, you're gonna alternate single legs. Here we go. We're gonna sit it down, drive it up, optional press, okay? If you have tricky shoulders, you might just wanna keep the weights right here, okay? Really driving through my heels when I'm standing back up from that seated position, thinking of my glutes. Woo, 5 seconds, 2, and 1. Whew, nice work. We're gonna go back to our hinge and row. Remember, this time is just a guide. If you need to take some extra recovery, go ahead, do that. Here we go. Hinge and row. We are on. Pushing hips back. So these 2 exercises that we're doing right now, our hinge pattern and our row, are considered pulling exercises, right? Think if we were pulling weeds out of the ground here, we'd be using this rowing motion, right? Same thing of pulling through our body here, back to standing. Ten more seconds. Should feel the back of the legs and the back of the rib cage. Those muscles around that area. And time, okay? Now back to our sit squat to press, optional press. Now these 2 exercises are considered pushing exercises, okay? Let's start on the ground here to show you. We push through our body, push through our shoulders. You see the difference between our pulling that we just did, push, push. The other were pull, pull. Weights in the heel of the foot as we come up off that seat. Drive, engage the glutes, keep the core tight. Remember, you can even, maybe you have good shoulders, but it's just a little too intense to hit that press every single time. Maybe you do one like this, and then the next one, you add the press, okay? Tailor it to what works for you. And, whoo, time, okay? We're putting all 4 together now. So we're gonna go to our side step goblet squats right from the beginning. Here we go. Ready? Begin. Out, sink it down, drive it up, return. Pass halfway. Remember, if you need to shave off a few seconds here, we've got 10 seconds left. Maybe this is a good stopping point for you. Get a drink. You get a little extra recovery time, okay? So think about what works for you. 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Balance, bicep curl. Okay, remember, if your balance is just not there, let's try marching it out, whether you're seated or standing. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna do half the time on one leg, if you can. And we're controlling those weights on the way up and the way down. Woo. 3, 2, and other side. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Hinge and row. Okay, we're getting the two pulling exercises for the back of our body here. Feet under hips, toes are forward. Here we go. We're gonna push those hips back, right? It looks like I can balance a tray on my spine here. Nice and neutral back. Keeping that belly button pulled back towards the spine here. Just 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, final exercise. We are doing our sit squat with that optional press, neutral grip. Okay, knuckles out to our sides. Here we go. Feet are about shoulder width apart. We're gonna tap it down, drive through the heels, press. We are past halfway. We rest after this. We'll be done our first block here. Woo! 10 more seconds. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, guys. Take a well-deserved break there. Whew. Get a drink. All right. So next block, we are doing a 9-minute block, and it's 3 exercises. We're going to rotate through for our 45, 15. So our first one's going to be our sumo squat. So from a standing position, our heels are right outside the width of our shoulders. Okay, so here's my heels, and I'm like, yeah, right outside. Okay, toes are out. We can hold a weight here, okay? And we're gonna keep our knees out to the sides. I'm keeping my chest high for this one, okay? We wanna feel like our glutes and our inner thighs kind of contracting as we do this exercise. Okay, so we're gonna be right here. Then the next one we're gonna do is a front raise, neutral grip front raise, okay? So front raise, and then I'm gonna hinge it like our hinge in a row, and we're gonna do a rear delt fly, okay? Front raise, rear delt fly, front raise, okay? So you can hold your dumbbells together or separately, okay? Together might feel a little more controlled or separate, okay? So reverse fly, I'm gonna show you from the front side. Front raise, hinge, reverse fly. So when we do these two movements together, we're getting the front of the shoulder and the back of the shoulder, okay? After that, we are doing reverse lunges, okay? So we're gonna alternate today, okay? Remember, we can hold on to the front of our chair, the back of it, and reverse lunge it this way, okay? You can hold on maybe just the side of your chair. Maybe you only need one hand on a chair to do it. Maybe you're good body weight just like this. And if you're advanced, you want to hold on to one weight up here or 2 weights in either hand, you can do that as well, okay? Seated variation, we're gonna lean it back and you're pressing through the heel of your foot till you extend that leg long and engage your muscles in your leg, like you're pushing something very heavy away with that foot. You're gonna feel your core working too, because you kind of scooped back here, okay? So there are all your options. Those 3 exercises, 9 minutes long, all right? So we're gonna start with our sumo squat. And if you're seated for sumos, lateral leg again, okay? Lateral and leg, okay? All right, so here we go. Sumo squat, 45 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Heels are outside the width of our shoulder. Knees stay in the direction of those toes. And I'm gonna drive up. I'm focused on trying to feel my inner thighs and my outer glutes here by having this external rotation with the legs. Keeping the chest up. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay, we're gonna go into that front raise, hinge, rear delt fly, okay? All right, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Front of the shoulder with our front raise, hinge, belly button to spine, reverse fly. Use the glutes and hamstrings to lift back up. Good. 10 more seconds here. Then we've got our reverse lunges. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so any of those variations, again, maybe if you're advanced, you've got a weight in either hand or you're holding some up here. You could do the body weight or with the assistance of your chair. And I'm seated. Here we go. I'm just going to do my body weight here. Remember, we're primarily working that front leg, okay? That front leg is the one that's getting the work done when we do these lunges. We want to make sure our heel maintains contact with the floor. If your heel is popping up on that front leg, we need to make some adjustments. Oops, so that the heel stays in contact, because that's what you should be driving up from. 10 more seconds, and we're going to go back to sumo squats for round 2. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, get your drinks as you need them. We're going back to our sumos, okay? So inner and outer thigh here, or inner and outer glute, I should say. Here we go. Ready? Nice and wide with that stance. Here we go. Trying to be very mindful. Stay focused on what you're doing here. You're intentionally making that contraction. When you come up, you're squeezing all of that. It's not enough just to go through the up-down motion. You have to connect to those muscles and tell them what to do while you're in that motion. 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Front raise to reverse fly. We got that hinge combo with it here. We'll do it from the side this time. Feet are underneath your hips, toes are forward. Here we go. We're going to front raise, neutral grip, hinge, reverse fly. Keep that belly button pulled back towards the spine throughout the whole movement. Almost done this one. We have 10 seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, back to those reverse lunges, okay? Where you can do the seated leg press. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Yep, remember you could always hold weights in either hand. You could hold a weight right here. Keep a body weight like me. Hold on to that chair. Remember, we're focused on that front leg though. Whole foot on the floor as that back knee drops down towards the floor. Really thinking about pushing up into that standing position. 10 more seconds here. We're just going to do one more round. Woo. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, nice work. One more set. Okay, sumo squats. This is the final set for this block. We're going back into that nice wide stance here. Wider than shoulder width with these heels. Here we go. Trying to keep that chest high. Pressing through my heels. Like I can wiggle my toes, right? I can wiggle my toes because I'm using the majority of my heel to drive back up. We're almost done with these. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay, all done with those. Final set of our front raise to reverse fly combo. Feet under hips, toes are forward. Ready? Here we go. Front of the shoulder, hinge, back of the shoulder, hinge. Ten more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, nice work. Final exercise here. We're going to do those reverse lunges. Remember your options. Your advanced weight or weight, somewhere in the middle, chair, or beginner seated alternating leg press. Here we go. I'm going to do somewhere right in the middle here. Just do a body weight. Remember, just go through your own range of motion. The important thing is that that front foot maintains contact with the floor. Okay, that heel. You don't have to worry about trying to drop that back knee down all the way or anything like that. Let's just try to work that front leg. You can hold on to your chair in front of you here. Three, 2, and 1. Nice job, guys. We are all done that block. Woo! Recover. Get a drink. We've got one more block to get through. Switching it up a little bit. It's going to be 4 exercises with light weight or no weight, a little more cardio and movement. And we're going to do 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds in between. So while you're recovering, let me demo these exercises for you. Okay, so our first one, flat tap, squat jack. Okay, so we're gonna do our first one is it's a modified squat jack. So you know how like when we do a modified jumping jack, it's like this? Well, now what we're gonna do is squat, tap, up, squat, tap, up, squat, tap, up, squat, tap. See, I'm learning it with you guys, okay? And then up, squat, and then when we're in there, tap, up. Okay, we'll go nice and slow together. Remember, sometimes we're not only training our body, we're training our cognitive health just as important. Okay. Bicep curl with hamstring. You can do this with or without a light weight. Okay, one of our regulars here. Okay, you can also do it from that seated position where we're just tapping and tapping. Okay, so you still got that same joint action moving here through the knees and the elbows. And then our last one is going to be a standing ab exercise. We can, of course, do the seated too. You can option to have one dumbbell as we knee drive on one side and then do it on the other. From a seated position, it's a little more straightforward, okay? A little less angle. And we're just focused on one side and then the other, okay? So that first one here, if we're seated, we're going to tap. We're gonna tap, tap, okay? So we're gonna get those shoulders going, all right? And we're gonna tap. This is our seated option. And you're gonna have to struggle with me as we learn this new movement pattern. Remember, 30 seconds here. We're doing a 30-10. Let me just get our timer going here. And sorry, I'm looking for it here. Sometimes I have so many in here. It's just, no. Oh goodness, guys, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So just again for that, if we're seated, it's the lateral tap and the elbow. If we're standing, we're going to squat, tap, up, squat, tap, up. Okay. Cognitive. Here we go. Let's get ready and begin. So we're going to narrow squat, tap, drive up. Narrow squat, tap in the squat, drive up. Three, two, and one. Okay. Our next one is our bicep curl with our ham curl. So remember, seated, you can always just tap, tap. Okay. Get those knee joints and those elbows moving, or you can stand and get the knee and elbow joints moving as well. Okay. So you can hold on to weights here if you like. Working on our heart health here a little bit by trying to get multiple joints moving at the same time, right? The more joints we have moving, the more we're getting that blood circulated, the more we're working the heart here, okay? And time, okay? Next one, standing knee drive, okay? Again, if you wanna hold a light single weight dumbbell here, you could, or you could keep a body weight. Remember, if you're seated, we are straight forward. Pulling that knee up and feel how your abs contract as that knee comes up. All right. All 30 seconds on one side. Five more seconds. Woo, I'm getting sweaty. Two and one. Recover. 10 seconds here. We're going to get that other side. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. We got to even out here. Woo. Just 10 more seconds on this side. Remember that difference between a little bit of exercise discomfort where it's like, ah, oh, gosh, this is tough, but it's not pain, it's just hard. And time on that one, okay? That's okay. If it's a little hard, but that acute pain, that's when we know, okay. All right, so we are back to that first squat lateral tap. Remember, if we're seated here, we are right here, boom, okay? Right here is our seated variation. And I'm gonna go ahead and it's squat, tap, up, squat, tap, up. So we get this little tiny hold, right, on this bent leg. Oops. Dare I think while I'm doing this. And time, good. Okay, so now we're going back to that bicep curl and hamstring curl, seated or standing. Remember, if you have a pair of light weights, you can always add that in here. Here we go. If you're seated, you're tapping those toes back, right? Whew. Just a little cardio burst to end our 2 strength sets here today. Gotta take care of the heart too, right? 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right, so we're back to that knee drive. So remember, standing, we're a little more of an angle here, with or without a weight. And if we're seated, we're dead on, okay, with or without a weight, okay? And either way, by bringing that knee up, driving that knee up, whether you're seated or standing, we hit our lower abdominals and our hip flexor, okay? And not to mention, by keeping these arms moving, we're keeping it cardiovascular. Once again, moving more joints simultaneously. Time, we're gonna hit that other side. Deep breath. Let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1, here we go. And we're always focused on the quality over the quantity, right? If you start to feel that accumulated fatigue setting in, and you feel like you just need a little extra recovery time because your form's breaking down, then you should take it, because the quality of our repetitions is most important. 2, and 1. Okay, now we've got one more round, guys, okay? One more round, starting with that modified, that squat jack. Okay, so we're going to narrow squat, tap, drive up. Narrow squat, tap. And if you're seated, we're just doing those lateral taps with that lateral raise. 2, and 1. Okay, all done with those. Last round of our ham curls with that bicep curl. Optional weight. Whew. 10 seconds. Biceps, which we're working here with the upper body, is one of the most frequently used muscles in the body. And time on there. And whew, final set. We've got those knee drives to even out on each side. Seated or standing here. Here we go. Last minute of work. You can do this without a weight. Getting our abdominal working. 3, 2, 1. One more side, guys. Deep breath. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. This one's got us moving through our shoulder, our hip, our knee. 3, 2, and time. Woo! All right, guys, take a moment to recover. Here, get a drink. We're gonna stretch it out here. Okay. So we're gonna start, let's start at the top of the body today. And we're gonna pull forward, we're gonna stretch out our back here just by gently grabbing on the back of your head, tucking your chin in, rounding forward, and think about your elbows coming towards one another. Feel that stretch through your upper back. Good. And then gently come back up. All right. Now we're going to do the reverse. We're going to take our palms on the small of our back. Okay. And we're going to act like our elbows can touch one another, but even though we know they can't. And think of your heart coming up towards the ceiling. Your head can stay wherever it wants. It does not have to come up. Okay. But if you think of trying to pull your elbows to touch one another, your hands are in the small of your back, and you think of lifting your chest towards the ceiling. You should feel a really nice stretch through the front of your shoulders and chest here, maybe a little bit through your forearms as well, okay? So this is the reverse side of the other stretch we just did here. And relax, good. Now let's get the sides for this one. So we're gonna do our scalene or our neck and trap stretch here. Okay, so I'm just kind of like reaching down here and gently pulling on the other and feeling that nice lengthening on the side here. Deep breath as our heart rates come back down. Good, and then when you're ready, let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, gently pressing and pulling here. Oh, this is my treble side. I always feel it a little more on this side. Good. And then from here, for seated, we're going to do our arc over. We're going to stretch out our thoracic spine. So we're going to arc it over. Okay. And I'm trying to look across my back shoulder. You're not forcing anything. You're just going through your range of motion. But we want to feel this stretch. So our rib cage, our thoracic spine, right? Think about how being more mobile here makes it easier to put on a seatbelt, you know, or grab something from somebody behind you in the movie theater. You know, you never know. But these are all, you know, when you start to think of daily activities of living, you can see how training, okay, and let's arc it over to the other side, for those activities can help make life a little bit easier. Good. 2 more stretches. We're going to do our figure 4, okay? So we're going to cross one leg over the other, okay? And we're going to think of lengthening through that spine. It's a very small lean forward that you should feel this glute working, like stretching through here, right? We're just staying lengthened. And then it's like an inch or 2 that you move forward, and you should feel a little bit of a stretch through that outside glute there, okay? So we're trying to keep that length through the spine. It's one of my favorites. This is a great one. You can also do it like if you're laying in bed on your back, and you can pull that, you know, that opposite leg in. Wonderful stretch for the glutes. Okay, and let's release out of that. But before we do that on the other side, we'll just take that leg and let's just flex and point. And then give me a couple circles each direction here, 3 to 5 each side. And then we will finish off with the other leg here. So figure 4 on the other side here. Find that length through our spine, and then just very minimal movement as we lean it forward here, because we're keeping a nice neutral spine, but we should feel good stretch through the glute here. I love this stretch. Good, and then let's come out of that. We'll do our flexing and pointing. And then our circling each direction, anywhere from 3 to 5 reps, probably 5, right? That's what I usually say. All right, guys, and then we're gonna just take a nice big inhale. Exhale, palms to heart. And one more time. Inhale. And nice big exhale. Palms to heart. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the workout.